Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Spark Gap Garage. And in today's episode, we have something very, very exciting to show you. We have a car hauler. Look at that box. It's kind of ugly right now, not gonna lie to you. But eventual upgrades, ignore that for now. But look at that. Just look at that. Let's get into this. So if you are new to the channel, you missed out on a whole lot of shenanigans and shapoopery, but we took a before. I'm going to give you a before. And now turned into this. A lot of work. A ton of work. And patience. And being a doctor. And boo-boos and ouchies and swear words. Yeah, a lot of swear words. But look at this thing. So obviously a lot has changed since the last episode. We were kind of talking about the decks, not that you perverted mind people. The deck, how we're gonna mount it, a lot of electrical issues as far as how to wire it up. And a lot of it was because I'm an idiot and wired it in wrong, but that is all sorted out now. We have proper functioning lights. The license plate that is mounted like that on the fender will actually be mounted in the proper orientation, but she's ready. She is ready to go. We made some like hookies, L brackets and stuff for the ramps. We're gonna be doing some 8-foot ramps with the same C channel that we used for the back bumper and the frame rails, 8 foot out. And then we're gonna be using some boards to gain more clearance for Midnight Special. But look at this thing. Ignore this. Ignore the sloppy second.
That's what she said.
You know, that's gonna get corrected. Realistically, there are certain things that I could have done differently on this thing that if I would have paid a little more attention and spent a little more time on, could have been done a little better. And perfect example there. But eventually we're gonna not use wood boards. We're actually going to do steel deck with new axles and stuff. But for the time being, here she is. We went with the DOT tape, you know, because people might get in their minds that, ooh, car hauler ramp. Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, we don't want that. Right here, we have penny lights on both sides. They're actually functioning as marker lights because, again, being how long it is, I don't want some knucklehead to T-bone the shit out of this and ruin a perfectly good headache that this trailer was. We're not going to take a too deep look at some of these seams here. There are some gaps. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are some gaps. But the way we're going to do eventual trim on this, there'll be some flat boards that'll cover all this up and actually help not just seal this thing up, but also make it look better and yada, yada, yada.
Are you sure about that?
These plywoods, walls, whatever you want to call them, are actually going to be painted white. And we have a special, kind of like a barn paint, but it's more for fences and it's supposed to be very durable, but it's going to be a brilliant white, really, really white. It's gonna be bright. That is to match the title. So technically this is a color shifting paint, black paint turning to purple bluish. That still matches the registration. This has to be white. The trim is gonna be a black to kind of go with the whole theme and kind of make this thing stand out. That's pretty boring right there, but we got room for battery if we want to run battery. With the wheels, the license plates, the rampies. We got these things. These plates right here were actually used to secure the boards. This one was not needed. Actually secured the boards in other areas. But overall, I am really happy how this turned out. it's gonna be kind of interesting with Midnight Special, how low she sits. In between the wheel fenders, I believe, is where the driver door will be. So might have the Dukes of Hazzard out of the car, but yeah, that'll be an issue for when that time. So standing up on here, you're like, why the heck did I not complete the middle? That looks stupid. Hold on, guys, stop being impatient. I'm going to be welding on a really nice plate of steel right here and actually putting a winch. So if the car or any future projects break down, don't run, whatever, whatever, then we can have a way of pulling it up onto the shindig. Oh, look at that thing, brother. Yeah, so this door came off of the camper. We will be eventually replacing this, but for the time being, this darn thing will not open when going down the road like the old body that this thing had. Repurpose, reuse, right? Yeah, look at that screen door. That's mint. But you can see I got a little carried away with the Sawzall, whatever. It's will all get cleaned up, guys. Don't judge me too much. This will all get cleaned up. But kind of looking in here, you're like, that looks like crap. Well, again, gaps would be covered up with the trim and stuff will seal it up. I haven't fully screwed in the roof yet. The roof is pressure treated. What is it? Pressure treated half-inch. God, my brain fart. Half-inch pressure treated plywood. 3/4 inch. Get my finger out of the way. Look at that finger. See this 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood. The rest is standard plywood. I used 2x4s, and you're like, well, that's stupid, or you might think that's a good idea. Well, here's my logical reasoning. If I'm going to be pulling this thing, by the way, 7 foot tall box, parasail, whatever you want to call it, if I'm pulling this thing at 70 miles an hour, that's a lot of stress on, I think they use 2x1s or whatever the heck for the original skeleton. These things are beefy, beefy. We use the original roof bow. It's pretty nice. There's 3 of them, one on the other side, right there, and then the other side there. But like I said, guys, get my finger out of the way, Jesus. Like I was saying, guys and gals, this thing is not complete by any chance, by any means. This is going to be a continuous update. Obviously, it is a diamond in the rough right now, but calm down. It's going to get there, I promise. It will get there. Let's talk about the cab with me standing outside. So you're like, well, it's got to be a sleeper. What the heck are you doing, brother? And so pretty much 4 foot here. We're going to put kind of like a prison bed style, just basic bed. Basic shelf for a mattress or a foam pad. There will be enough room for a little chair there, and maybe even a fold up table. I haven't decided yet. We're gonna do some overhead storage, which would be really nice for some tools. And then another thing, you're like, what? I thought you were doing the toolbox. I thought you were doing that thing. No, we're not doing that. Eventually, we might figure something out on this trailer, but it would have been too much of a headache trying to cut out around that toolbox and then figuring out a way to seal it up and make it look good, and then also stepping up and over. So just to simplify this all down, no toolbox. Now, another question you are probably wondering is how in the heck did they secure this box, this sail, to the frame? I use actual, what are they called? Lag bolts or something like that. But OEM locations, this is basically where the original body would mount onto. And this is the creme de la creme, the creamy. Right here is a main structural point. I will be doing some custom U-bolts with brackets right there and there before our race in Chicago next month. Further information on that in the upcoming video with Midnight Special. But yeah, this is pretty much an update. We will be doing marker lights on, you know, red towards the back and then orange towards the front per not necessarily DOT requirements, but I don't want to get stopped by DOT and they're like, you're not doing it right. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this thing. This is a little emotional, which might sound cheesy to you guys, but if you understand, this is not just a simple weekend project. This was going on 4 or 5 months of, you know, pretty much every weekend tearing into this thing and just giving it all we got. So yeah. So for those of you who have watched the first episode all the way leading up to this, you might recognize bong. You might recognize this panel. This was just to, I believe, the left or right of the door. And this is kind of a sentimental value kind of thing now, but we do need to keep this on the camper too. This is the registration, whatever, recreational vehicle. So we are going to mount that somewhere on either the front of the trailer or the back. It don't really matter. Probably somewhere right here near the handle. But I'm going to zip out or cut around these and mount it on the good old panel there. But yeah. So something I'm going to do for you, ladies and gentlemen, is actually do some snippets of the before and after and pretty much the entire build process of this. It will jump around a little bit. I apologize for that. Didn't capture absolutely everything. However, for those of you that are actually brand new to this channel and you can actually see where we started to where we're at now. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work, a lot of hurt feelings for the neighbors. Just kidding, they're all good with this. I'm actually apparently the talk of the neighborhood. What is he doing now with this darn thing? But let me go ahead and do that for you guys, and then, yeah.
You ready to wreck it?
I'm ready to wreck it, Ralph.
Ha! It worked!
Yeah! Got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for watching another episode of Spark Gap Garage, and this will conclude the trailer build. We will have updates, we will have upgrades happening with this thing, but the build series, for the most part, is completed. I want to thank each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your comments, support, love, hatred mail. You know, what is he doing? That's ugly. We really appreciate that. Without you and your support, we wouldn't be doing this, and it's really humbling to actually be where we are as a channel. And if my numbers are correctly, we're actually getting pretty close to 300 subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, please definitely like, comment, and subscribe. Any ideas what you have for the car hauler? If you're new to the channel, please watch some of my midnight special videos and any ideas you have for the good old race car. But From my bourbon loving heart, we love you. We'll see you in the next episode. Stay safe.